What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, I'm back for another Q&A. Um, yeah, I'm actually, I'm excited to do another one of these. I haven't done one of these in a while. Or last night. But yeah, just basically my kind of Q&A is either put some questions down in the chat or hit the link I left in the chat to join the stream. Because, I would not mind having some guests along for the ride or just to chat with anyway. So, but I don't know, man. What have you guys been up to lately? Have you guys watched anything good lately? You guys bought any physical media lately? Yeah, just yeah. Go ahead and ask any movie related questions or anything TV show related. Actually, now since because I'm starting to into more TV shows now. So ask me any TV show related questions as well. So let's see. We got Charles Clayton in here, a fellow supporter. Like always, what is up, brother? Thank you so much for stopping by. And again, guys, if you guys want to join, I left the link in the chat. So go ahead. This is an open link stream. So like cold beverage. Hey, you're drinking some triple berry breezer bubbler water, which is delicious. So cheers, everybody. Oh, that's so good. But yeah, how are you guys doing today? That's another good question for y'all. How are you guys doing? I actually just finished up my binge of the show Banshee. It's a Cinemax original show that's actually on HBO Max right now. So if you guys want to go check it out, I recommend it. Not going to be for everybody because there is some graphic stuff, not just violence wise, but also sexual content wise. So just be forewarned. But yeah, I loved Banshee. If Cody Leach is watching this right now, which I'm sure he's not, but what's up, Cody? Cody Leach to clarify. There's a couple different Codys that I know on YouTube. But thank you to Cody Leach for getting me into the show because, I need something new in my life, for different TV shows. So, yeah, I just finished Banshee today. Great show. I love that show. Definitely recommend it. Because if you guys love Anthony Starr from The Boys, check out Banshee. So, yeah, even after that first episode of Banshee, I was hooked. So, but yeah, once again, guys, if you guys are wanting to join, go ahead and hit the link in the chat. So we got another question here. So, of course, Mr. Charles Clayton, he says, what's your personal ranking of Ryan Coogler's 4 movies he's directed? Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'll go worst to best, actually. So, worst to best. Black Panther. I know. I'm sorry. Not a big fan of that movie, which I would give a 3 out of 5. Fruitvale Station a 4.5. I think. Did I give that a 4.5 or did I give that a 4? Maybe I gave that a 4.5. Then Creed, give a 5 out of 5, and of course Wakanda Forever. So that film in theaters twice. Now that is a great movie. I love Wakanda Forever. I mean, I loved it the first time I saw it, but just honestly, the second time was probably even better. I am convinced right now that it is top 5 MCU. I said what I said. Call it a hot take. But that's just me because I saw Wakanda Forever on Friday night, the night it was released. And, well, technically, I wouldn't really say the night it was released because it came to my theater on the Thursday, but I didn't go see it then. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you guys, to be honest with you. But hold on just 1 second. I will be right back, guys. Just there. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry for my taking a little time off your hands. It's good. But I don't know. It's in my nose right now. But yeah. Don't ask me when I'm grabbing out. Oh. There we go. But once again, guys, if you guys are still watching this right now live and you guys would like to join, hit the link I left in the chat. So excuse me. Ugh. So but yeah, I know I answered this question already, but I'll say it again in case you guys were not paying attention. So worst to best of Ryan Coogler. Black Panther, Fruitvale Station, Creed, and then Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, I loved. Like, I love Fruitvale Station and um, Creed, but Black Panther, but not the first Black Panther. Wakanda Forever was like on a different level for me. Like, I loved that thing to no end. I thought that film was fantastic. It was a lot better than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. Because first, I wasn't looking forward to it. Saw the new trailer. When I saw Halloween Ends, I was like, ah. Hold on a sec. Oh.
What are we talking about? What's the dealio right now? What's the topic?
I don't have a topic right now, dude.
Oh, cool. Okay. Ooh, is it echoing? Shit, did I leave it on?
Hold on.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see Black Panther Forever. I might not.
Yeah, I saw that twice already.
I might not. I'm waiting for Disney Plus, and the only reason is because my mom saw it, and she's like an MCU person, and she's like, it's okay. Like, she didn't love it, and she felt like it was like there was a lot. It was too long, and there wasn't like enough there that constituted a full movie. And I was like, okay, so I'm probably not going to go, but I'll see it when it comes out on Disney Plus. But I'm probably not going to go out to the theater to see it, because she explained to me the plot, and I'm like, okay, makes sense. I don't know if I'm gonna sit through it in the theater though, but it sounds okay.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, I'll see it. It just probably won't end up on my 2022 list, because it's probably not going to hit Disney Plus until like January. That seems, yeah, like January. I'll probably see it. I'm excited for other stuff though, like Avatar. I will definitely be seeing Avatar.
I'm not excited.
That's gonna get Best Picture. I feel like if any blockbuster gets Best Picture this year, that's gonna be the one. That's gonna be nominated for like best cinema. It's gonna get Best Visual Effects, no doubt.
No, I doubt it. Honestly,
you don't think
visuals, yes, but Best Picture.
You don't think
no.
Best Picture?
No, that would not be the one I would gravitate. Top Gun is way better.
Top Gun's probably getting nominated. I feel like that's I think they're going to go with like 4 blockbusters this year. It's going to be like Elvis. It's going to be Elvis, Top Gun, and Avatar are going to be the blockbusters this year that they gravitate towards probably. Everything else will be like whatever. Like, I don't think they're going to nominate anything else. Like, I don't think Marvel has a chance. It's sad to say I like the Batman a lot, but I don't think that has a chance either. It came out too early. Like, coming out in February, it lost all of its chances. Because you don't see February movies getting nominated, but like, Top Gun's getting nominated. There's no way that they don't nominate that movie when it's probably the most successful movie of the year. And it's
the one that grossed the most amount of money. So
yeah, everyone loved it and shit. So I feel like that's not like that's gonna get like people are gonna talk about it. It's gonna be like, I'm trying to think of an example of recent years where that happened. Fuck, where a movie Joker. It's like Joker.
Yes.
Where it was a movie that got nominated because it did so well and everyone loved it. Where they're like, oh, we can't like deny this movie, and that happened. That's probably happening. I feel like Top Gun's in the 10. Top Gun's gonna get nominated just because everyone adores that movie. Not like I totally understand if it gets in the 10, I'll be like, yeah, I liked it when I saw it, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I will take this to my grave that should be the one that gets nominated because it's still my number one, dude. It's still my number one.
It's still your number one movie of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
every time,
mine?
like
Oh, Everything
I saw it,
Everywhere is mine, but it keeps
I saw
flipping.
it twice in theaters, and I've never forgotten about it since. Like both times I saw it,
Mhm.
I never forgot about it.
I gotta look at your list. What have you seen? I want to more figure out what you've seen that I haven't gotten to yet. That's the stuff I'm interested in this
Like
year.
like, well, let's see.
Because there's definitely a few that you've seen that I haven't seen this year that I was like, oh, Smile, but I'm waiting because that comes out on Paramount Plus tomorrow. So that's going to be one I watch in bed. That's gonna
It
be
was only $5 for for that Tuesday when I went and saw it.
oh yeah, because it's cheap
So
day.
well, that's why I did that with Bros. I saw that on the $5 Tuesday.
Oh, you like Bros? That's good. Oh yeah, because you did like Bros because you were like one of the only ones in the chat that actually was like, oh no, it's good. They got this.
But all of a sudden, someone else that was in our group chat, not gonna name names because I'm not a jerk. Was like, oh, it looks painfully unfunny, and oh, Billy Eichner is a hypocrite.
Oh, because
I'm like, stop it.
Even though he got mad and what he was saying was factually correct, still people are mad, even though what he said was true, because there are movies that came after that have done really well with other contexts. So he's right, but yeah, no, I thought that was funny. People were like, oh no.
I mean, I know he was right, but I don't really feel like if he needed to go out and say that because, like,
yes,
not a lot of people are gonna really feel that way.
I feel like it's a situation of like he didn't have to say it because we knew. At least I knew seeing that movie at TIFF that's probably what was going to happen. Like I was like,
and I should say this also because the content that is involved with that film is not for everybody.
That's definitely true. There's probably one too many graphic anal scenes in that movie for
like one too many graphic sex scenes.
Yeah. They're funny shit, but like I could see people being like, "Oh, I can't do that."
Yeah, but
some good shit.
It was good. I mean, not gonna lie. I mean,
Bad Guys. I haven't seen The Bad Guys, but I need to see it before the end of the year because it's going to be in the 5 for animated feature.
I don't know if it's on Netflix in Canada. I know it's on Netflix in the US.
The US. I'm gonna have to VPN somehow and watch it because I'm interested in it. Oh no, you know what? It's not on, but it's on Crave, so I'll watch it on Crave one of these days.
Okay, it's on Crave. Yeah, watch it on Crave.
I mean, that's how I watched League of Super Pets, and that was okay.
I think it's still the best animated film of the year by far is The Bad Guys. Like, no doubt. It's like
because it's
that's the only one. Like, well,
yeah,
I wouldn't count. No, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 does not count as animated because it's fully live action.
Yeah.
So that's the only animated film I've given a 5 out of 5 to. I mean, still not perfect, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still not perfect. I mean, but because of the rewatch, how many times I've rewatched it, that like was deserving of a 5 out of 5.
It's true. I think the 5 movies we're getting in animated are the new Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell, Turning Red, Bad Guys, and then probably Wendell and Wild. Those are probably the 5 that I feel the most strongly about getting nominated this year. If we're talking
Lightyear's not getting it. I already know it because everybody looks at that one scene and it caused so much controversy. And I was like, "What are you people on? That's stupid." Lightyear.
Which scene? Which scene in Lightyear?
I don't want to get into that because I'm not gonna say which scene because because otherwise people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're being part of the controversy too," and I'm gonna be like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah. Does it have because I kind of know the movie. Does it have anything to do with the twist of the movie, or is it the scene where what's her face kisses the other character? It's that one, right?
That might be it, actually. But again, I don't want to be part of that controversy because I'm not one of those people that hated it.
I feel like it's just a situation where there's people who, for some reason, feel like
is that probably why Eternals got so much controversy?
Yes. I'll confirm to you that the reason, and this is I knew this before the movie came out because it was very apparent on the reviews that were coming out that were negative. People didn't hate the movie because it was boring. People hated the movie because of how diverse the cast was. and that essentially the villain of the movie is a white dude. That's why people got mad. They're like, oh, the straight white dude's the villain. But I'm just like, bro, it's directed and written by an Asian woman. You really do you? It's the same thing with what they ended up doing with Black Panther 2. Do you really think that they're going to tell this white centric story when that's not their story? It's just like, if everyone got mad about it, they're like, oh my gosh. It was very much highly just dudes getting angry about
Like,
how it's like, oh,
I don't-
there's different people in it.
Like, that'd be people would just be like, I know this might sound like a dumb comparison, but sue me, I'm just gonna say it. That'd be like people saying like, "Oh, Beast has the dumbest character, so we have to start controversy."
Yeah, there's a lot of deep political reasons why
That doesn't matter because
these people, and I'm not sitting here defending anyone that hated Eternals or She-Hulk or any of these, or even Turning Red. There's people that hate Turning Red for
I know who does.
No, we're not gonna name any names, but not even.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I know who does.
Not even singular people. There's a general swath of people who hate certain movies.
I think it's the most controversial Pixar movie.
That's a good question, because I think it's the only. I don't know, because I would say that yes, for the reason that Pixar is talking about some topics that they've never talked about, which I'm like, yes, but I feel like, does it need to be controversial that we're talking about puberty in a Pixar movie? I feel
Inside
like
Out did that too. Inside Out did that in some ways.
And I think it's controversial because of how they talk about it. But I think that the sad part is that it is controversial. But
I don't know why. Like, I felt like they went into the more realistic side talking about puberty.
That's true. That I feel like a lot of people, like, I know a lot of people. I specifically watched it with a group of people who specifically were like not into it because of how or group, or I'm not gonna say how many people were in the group. I don't want to out anyone, but like, I was watching it with some people and like literally they hated it because it like got really deep into the idea of like periods and shit like that. And I'm like, why?
Well, and not really that. They were just and not really that. They were just like, oh, it was so cringe. The voice acting was so terrible. It was so annoying. Isn't that the whole point? Honestly, that's literally the whole point.
And I think that it's funny how people are going to hyperfixate on that, but they're not going to talk about how it's a really smart story about generational trauma and how your parents can, like, their stress from their childhood can end up, reflecting onto your childhood. Very similar to Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's been a lot of movies this year about how parents get too fixated on certain things and they ruin their children's childhoods a little bit without realizing it. And I find that fascinating that that's the topic we're all, focused on this year for films, because there's so many of them that are doing that.
Exactly. And plus, there's been so many like movies that have been causing so much controversy this year that don't warrant controversy.
I just think people are just I think this is just a year where people just want to complain. I just think that that's probably what it is, because I know before movies come out, people will complain.
I'll just say this. I know you don't agree with me on it, and that's totally fine. But, like, I feel like a lot of people this year, like, as far as I looked on Letterboxd, there are some people that are trashing The Black Phone, and I completely disagree with that. And I'm like,
here's what I'll say. The Black Phone isn't a bad movie. I think there are people who are genuinely going out of their way to say this is a terrible movie. I didn't particularly like it, but I feel like every movie I see, except for ones that are egregious and terrible and god awful, even the worst movies that I see in a year, there's always like a positive element to them. And frankly, I think I have Black Phone at like a 3 out of 5, meaning that like there are more positives I have for the movie than negatives, but there are elements I wasn't the biggest on. But I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't. It's got its positives, it's got its negatives. I don't think it's one of the greatest movies of the year, but I think I think it's an acquired taste film. I think that's what it is. It's for people.
I felt like
into that type of film. I would think you probably fit in there too, of that type of, like, mystery, like these Blumhouse mystery films where they're like a little bit of ghostly stuff. Obviously,
Yeah, but
Scott
it
Derrickson
wasn't
is
like
into
it
it.
wasn't full on Blumhouse actually.
Wait, wasn't
It's
it?
not full on Blumhouse. I mean, it is a Blumhouse movie, but it doesn't actually feel like a Blumhouse movie
I guess you're right. There are elements that don't feel like Blumhouse.
because, dude, it's Scott Derrickson. It's directed by Scott Derrickson, so at points it
Right.
doesn't feel like a Blumhouse movie when I look at it. And
Mhm.
another thing, like if you watch films like Sinister or The Exorcism of Emily Rose, you have to
Mhm.
know Scott Derrickson's style when you walk into the Black Phone.
It's
That's
true.
what I did.
I think there's a lot of people that learned about Scott Derrickson through Doctor Strange, and I would argue that that's the least Scott Derrickson style movie. Even though it's not his worst film, I think it's the movie that like it's kind of sanitized a bit the way he made that movie, and that's clear in the fact that he didn't do Doctor Strange 2 because they didn't want him to do a Scott Derrickson movie, and I think it's probably that's how most people were introduced to him, and that's
Yeah.
not really his style, and it's whatever. Like I think that Sinister is the most Scott Derrickson movie of his aesthetic. Like I think that that's the most where I'm like, okay, this is his style. Is that movie? That movie's fucking wild.
Yeah, and also like you can't always expect, like I have to say this, like you can't always expect like so many things out of a film like that with such a simple concept.
Yeah.
Like you think that like you look at the concept, like it's super simple, and you think you're just gonna go, oh yay, I'm excited for this, and oh, they're just like that because I mean, I know it probably would not have offered much to some people, but here's the thing, it didn't need to actually be a good movie.
I think people weren't expecting a certain thing. The problem for me is that I didn't actually think it was. My problem is, like, at least for me, I think a lot of it's my expectations too. I didn't expect it to just be a straightforward kidnapping movie because the trailers were almost selling this concept of like, oh shit, this is like some demonic ghost shit was happening. So like, oh, something's gonna happen. And then nothing happened. So I think for me, a lot of it was I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and I went in expecting the wrong thing. I think that's probably primarily what my thing was I just went into expectations certain things.
Yeah, because I remember in October I watched it again with somebody. Again, not gonna name names because I'm not a jerk. Because I mean I think you might know who it is, but
we just I just in the middle of this. I don't want to me. So I know. And don't tell me what it is, but just in a yes or no question, did something happen that caused a ripple that might have destroyed that chat? Did something happen?
Not that, no.
It's just other things.
I can probably just tell you why. It won't really matter. I watched it. I mean, I quoted the grabber full on. I mean, he didn't mind it, like, because, like, as of now, I've seen, like, in total, I've seen the movie 5 times.
Yeah.
So, I can quote the grabber from beginning to end. Like, he's one of the most quotable killers.
Okay.
Like, to me personally. But after when the movie was ending, I go to Letterboxd and I see he still has it at a 2 out of 5, and I'm like, well, what now? Because, I mean, I recommended it to someone to do a reaction to it. He said he really enjoyed it. Oh, hold on.
My shit keeps crashing. That's the problem, is that my computer's at that age now where I've had it for like 5 years, and it's starting to crash my Chrome browser at certain times. It's really bad. No, so you went to this person's Letterboxd. I'm assuming that you didn't agree with certain scores, and that caused a ripple or in terms.
It didn't cause a ripple or anything. It was just like, well, I give up now. Because I feel like if I try to recommend it to other people, they're not going to like it because of how much praise I give it. And I recommended it to somebody to do a reaction to for the Halloween season, and he said it was really good. So I was like, okay, I think I still have hope for it. I can
Yeah.
recommend it to more people, and maybe they'll like it more. Little did I know, after that person still gave it a 2 out of 5, I was like, what's the point then? I can't recommend it anymore.
I feel like there's, I'm not gonna, obviously I won't name names throughout this whole thing, but is certain people I've kind of, gotten tired of arguing with them about films, and I'm not gonna lie, because it was probably weird when I just disappeared from all of the chats we had that one day. Everyone's like, "What the fuck happened?" I just left because I was tired of arguing about movies. I'm tired of like getting the really
I know. I mean, I feel that
argument.
honestly, because like it's like, dude, it's just a movie. Like what
It's true. It's very. Oh wow, it's gone. No, it's true. Very true. It's just wild. But no, it's true. Some people get really, and then also my thing is, I really hate seeing on the internet. I can tell when people are not serious about the medium of cinema and stuff when they'll go on a live stream or they'll go on their story and be like, "Oh my gosh, this movie was so good. It was so awesome." And then they'll hear someone else make a separate, like a different opinion and say, "Oh, I wasn't the biggest fan." And then right away you see them go on a tirade of like trashing a movie because someone else said it, and I think it's a lot of impression. Like people want to impress other people on in some of these
Yeah,
movie
and try to be the one that has the controversial take.
either the controversial take, or because I feel like there's some people that want to be contrarian and they say things opposite to what everyone else believes because they want to say that, or they believe a situation, they believe something wholeheartedly, and then they change it because they think it's the more popular take. So they'll be like, "Oh, actually, I hate this movie," when actually they liked it. I think that I've done that a few times in my history of liking movies, but I think I started to notice it, and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to say a movie's good or bad because everyone else is, so I'm not gonna. Because too many people do that. They're like, "Oh, I hate a movie now because the general public thinks it's bad," and it's like, but maybe it's not to you, you know?
What's up, dude? Boys and
What's
trains.
up?
How you doing, man?
What is up? I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good. Hey, dude. I got a question for you.
Yes.
What do you think is the most hated movie of the year?
Morbius.
Oof.
I'm out.
I don't know, because I don't know if I'd say Morbius for the fact that like Morbius is hated as a joke. I'm trying to
Yeah,
like at
that's
least when I
true.
hear that question,
I
I'm
don't
like,
even
what is
like.
genuinely
I
hated?
don't even hate that movie as a joke, bro. Like that movie is absolute trash.
Yeah. Because a lot of people like the meme and shit, but I genuinely hate a movie that's genuinely hated. I would say for me it's either Amsterdam or Blonde. Just two movies where I'm like, I genuinely despise those fucking movies. But I think that like, I don't know if that's the popular take. I really don't know what movie would be the one that everyone, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst fucking movie of the year," and not as a
No, I
joke.
mean like one that you think is like one that everybody else hates but you like.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
That's what I
different.
meant by hated. Like the most
If we take
hated
out the
movie.
you like point, it's Amsterdam. I think everyone just fucking hates Amsterdam. But like in terms of a movie I like that everyone hates, I know a show. I liked She-Hulk, and everyone else hates She-Hulk. If we're counting shows too, that's an
That's
answer.
fine too. I got. I don't know if this might be a hot take. I don't know if this might be like one that's hated, but it got mixed reviews when it came out. So I was like, I feel like someone's hated. Bullet Train.
Yes, I think more people like Bullet Train than they hate it. So I do agree with you that there's hate for it, but I definitely remember leaving the theater and at premiere night, and everyone really liked it. I don't know. Maybe that's just a small group of people, though.
I don't know, but I just feel like what I've been some ratings I saw for Bullet Train, I'm like, I'm kind of stumped on this. It's actually getting a lot of hate. Like I'm not getting it.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
Black
actually, I
Adam.
think I got another. I think I got another one. And it got good reviews for the most part, but some people I know hate it. Beast.
Beast. That is true. I think that's one mixed though. One that I can for sure say that most people hate is They Them. They Them is one that like everyone that saw it fucking hates it, and it's probably because of how it's literally not an actual great depiction of
Well, not
anyone
really
in the
that. It's a
community.
film that forgets it's a slasher movie.
It's also forgets it's a slasher too. That's one of the funniest things when I was watching it. I'm like, okay, so when are they going to go around killing people? And then the
Wait a minute.
people.
I actually figured out the right one actually this time. Because I gave off like ones that got mixed, but this one got a lot of hate. I'm going with Jurassic World Dominion. That movie got way too much hate.
Yeah.
What about you, Movies and Trains?
There's 3 that come to mind for me. So the first one, Lightyear, I think it just gets a bit of undeserved hate.
Well, and also,
I think-
did you know Movies and Trains? Did you know that the film for one scene caused so much controversy?
Yeah, I've known about that, and that's what I was about to bring up.
And I was like,
the one
you
scene,
people are stupid, honestly, for making so much controversy based off one scene.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
It was dumb. And then second one, these 2 kind of have like mixed reception. Like some people think it's just like middle of the road, and others think it's just like a good movie. For both of these, though, the Adam Project and then the Lost City, which I just had a lot of fun with both of the movies. Yeah.
Let's go, baby! Yes, sir. The Lost City.
I would even say one that's mixed for everyone, but I'm seeing it's more. I'm in the middle for it, but there's people who like love it, and then there's people who fucking hate it. Is The Monsters. Like I'm in the middle at 5, but there's people that go 10 and people that go 1, and I'm like, guys, it's not either bad or good. It's just a mid-tier movie.
I would say it's like a love or hate type of movie, and I'm on the side that hated it.
It's very much this one of like, and even like rewatching Rob Zombie's filmography, I still think that Monsters is his worst film. Surprisingly,
I agree with that, but to be honest, like now that's the only one I hate.
Yeah.
Because after I rewatched Halloween and Halloween 2, I've grown to like those movies.
Rewatching those this year, I was like, bro, these movies are actually not that bad. Halloween 2 is the best film that Rob Zombie's ever made, and I know it's controversial, but like I was like, I really like this movie now.
But I think I got another hate. Well, yeah, Lightyear's a good one to pick for. I know you guys might. This is like another kind of a controversial pick. This is a Netflix movie, actually, believe it or not. But this one took a little bit to grow on me. Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one just because I saw like they were showing this clip as like to promote the movie, and I was like, I don't know if I want to sit for 2 hours and watch that. Maybe it's something I'll check out next Halloween.
I feel like some people are not understanding that like they look at it, oh, it's gonna be a horror movie. It's more of a family drama than it is a horror movie, and that's a lot of people are not understanding that.
I could see that.
So,
because I heard because you said that the second time you watched it, you looked at it in a different genre, like context.
Yeah, I kind of just looked at it as a horror movie the first time, and I was just like, it's just bland and boring. Well, but like I watched it again, but after I watched the review, I was like, I need to watch that again. So I did, because again, after I watched my friend's review, I watched it again. I was like, oh man, I missed something here.
Yeah.
So, but
mixed movies this year. I guess the new Benson Moorhead film is mixed. I wasn't a fan of it, but there's people that love it, and then there's people that are with me and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's not great. You know, the guys that did Moon Knight, they dropped a new movie. It's okay. I saw it at a festival.
I would say there is a movie that I really do not think is quite as good as some people have made it out to be.
Is it one that I made out to be good too? I think so.
Not that. No. There are some people that are like, oh, it's actually really good. It's actually a good sequel. It wasn't actually bad. Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh yeah, no, I had fun with it, but to say that it's an amazing movie is correct.
I did not care for it at all. I thought it was terrible. Honestly, it's just a complete rehash of the first movie, but a lot less fun.
That's very much it is very much the first one. I think that it's the first one if Disney Plus was around when it got made.
I
It's
feel
very
like
much
it just, but I feel like it just lost like when I was going into that, I was like, I'm not having fun at all. Like
mhm.
I felt like it just lost the fun factor for me, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah. Yo, Charles is speaking facts in the chat though. You know, if we're talking about movies that aren't from this year, that I think were hated, but I love, Birds of Prey is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 101 movies, and it's fantastic. But I literally have a poster behind me. But it's
But have you,
but,
wait, movies and trains. Have you seen Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I think it's a great movie.
Let's go, baby.
I'd say top 5 DCEU.
it's
I think it kind of got bumped. I think it got bumped down for me after. No, I don't know if it got bumped out or not because Black Adam did not rise into the top 5. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
I think Birds of Prey is still my favorite DCEU film, and then The Suicide Squad is number 2. I think that's still my ranking.
I showed my.
Are big.
I know you know this, but I did show my ranking for the DCEU after I saw Black Adam, and someone like on my Instagram story, someone literally like responded to my story and said, "Man of Steel at the bottom," and I'd be like, "It's just not for me."
I agree. People get mad at me because Man of Steel is like third worst or second worst or something. I think Wonder Woman 84.
I have it at third because down below is Suicide Squad 2016 and then Justice League.
Yeah, I think
I still count Justice League. Sue me.
I think we have the same ranking, except I think we have Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 84 flipped. I think it's the same exact ranking. I just like Suicide Squad more, just for like a personal thing of I remember being 15 and that movie came out, and it was like I was like, holy shit, this movie is fun, you know. So I have like
I liked it at first as well when I first saw it. I watched it around Christmas time when I got the DVD for Christmas. But then I think I watched it the same day I went and saw The Suicide Squad, or the day before. I don't remember, but I watched it again after about 5 years, and I was like, this movie's got serious problems.
Oof, yeah. My ranking might get me canceled. I'm gonna say it though because it's hilarious. So Birds of Prey is the best DCEU movie, and then there's The Suicide Squad, Shazam, Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the original Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Black Adam, Man of Steel, and then Wonder Woman 84. And then Justice League is at the bottom, I think. I don't know why it's not on my list, but Justice League is in the bottom.
Like, why would Justice League not be in the bottom, dude? That movie is just an abomination against humanity.
Yeah.
I just looked up Justice League in fucking Letterboxd, like that was the name of no, so
somebody just needs to change it to Justice League instead of just keeping it as Justice League.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the Man of Steel is third worst, is what's controversial, and then the Suicide Squad is so high. I think that's the one that genuinely pisses off people. But it's like I just have
in regards to my MCU one, the most controversial one for my list is with Black Panther. I have it at the bottom.
Oh, that's like your least favorite one.
That's not my least favorite at all. I mean, it's
bottom.
It's in bottom 5. I mean, it's 5th from the worst. Like, it's not one that I hate because obviously there's some things I like about it, but the only two that I personally do not like ones that I'm just like, I probably will never watch that again. Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World, I probably will never watch again.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that point. I think the first 2 Thor movies, Iron Man 2 and 3, they're kind of bottom tier for me because I'm like, they feel like they're stepping stones to go somewhere else. 100%. And yeah, I agree. Black Panther is a little overrated. I feel like
I think somebody's speaking facts here in the chat. I gotta say what's up to my buddy Steven.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like, it got nominated for Best Picture, and if we were gonna choose the best comic book movie of that year to get Best Picture, it should have been fucking
Infinity War.
Or Infinity War. Logan or Infinity War should have got Best Picture, but they put Black Panther.
Infinity War yeah, probably Logan, actually. Never mind, because it was...
Because Logan is so much out of the superhero movie.
No, never mind. Yeah, it probably would have been Infinity War.
It probably would have been Infinity War, but I'm surprised Black Panther was nominated that year, but I'm not because I get why they did it. But what's funny is people are trying to say like, oh, Black Panther 2 for Best Picture, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I feel like
I
that's
don't know, but
possible at this point.
yeah. But Steven, I'm sorry, I disagree. I think Iron Man 3 is terrible.
I don't think it's terrible, but like as like a Shane Black action movie, I think it's pretty good. As an Iron Man movie,
Dude, it kind of fails on both ends to me, in my opinion. It honestly kind of fails on both. Like, because bro, it's like one of the most frustrating films I've ever had to sit through. Like, even after rewatching it like a couple of years ago, like it frustrated me the more and more I thought about it. Like,
See, for me, while I was watching it, I was watching it with one of my friends, and he was really into the movie because he just loves Iron Man. he 3D printed his own Iron Man suit. That like just recently, I'm pretty sure he did. And then he like a couple of years ago, he was watching like the first three with me, or the three Iron Man movies, and we got to Iron Man 3, and I was like, I don't really know how I feel about that one because there was a lot of things I liked and a lot of things that were just like, yeah, for me.
yeah, but I don't. I think this might be another controversial take because there's a lot of people that I know that love Iron Man 3, and I cannot disagree more with that. I would rather rewatch Iron Man 2.
I think personally,
Iron Man 2 is more
2 is a
fun.
little bit more enjoyable than me.
Well, and actually, and if I'm being honest, like, Vanko, I think was his name, Mickey Rourke's character was actually.
Whiplash. Well, I think Whiplash is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Whiplash
but
was a
I mean,
cool
I know
villain,
Justin
yeah.
Hammer was not really that great of a villain, but I'm gonna be honest, it's played by a better actor, honestly.
Yeah,
Sam Rockwell.
It's the AC/DC soundtrack for me. I think that like, or hearing Robot Rock by Daft Punk as they're kicking each other's asses. I think that just works more for me than anything
but,
Iron Man 3.
I think it's Vanko, Mickey Rourke's character in Iron Man 2. I loved him. I mean, I'm not blaming Sam Rockwell for giving like a mediocre performance in Iron Man 2. It's mostly the way he was written.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad he came back in Shang-Chi though. His role was.
You mean Guy Pearce? You mean Ben Kingsley?
Wait,
Yeah.
That's the Mandarin.
He was in the
Trevor.
the short. That's what I'm thinking of. Justin Hammer was in the short. All Hail the King.
Oh yeah, he was.
And then the Mandarin coming back in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't deny this though. Guy Pearce is a very underappreciated actor. I really do not feel like he gets the credit he deserves.
I think sometimes.
But dude, the way he was written, it's another evil Man of the Suit villain, an evil businessman villain. We're done.
Who has sworn for Tony Stark? It's like, I got sick of it when Far From Home came out, and that's why I didn't like it originally. I've come around on it a little bit.
I get it because it's the same 5 types of villains that we keep seeing.
Yeah, but you want
Hydra, scoring for Tony Stark, wants to take over the world, and then what else?
Personal vendetta.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest about this. How do I say this? I'm trying to think of I liked Corey Stoll in Ant-Man. I thought he was a good villain, but again, the Man of the Suit trope just didn't work. But when he became like the Hornet, I was like, I like it.
When he became the actual Man in the Suit, it got better. The man in the
Man of the Suit thing, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But once he becomes Hornet, though, I'm like, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
At least with his character, though, we got an awesome action sequence with Thomas the Train. That made me laugh so hard,
bro.
I
love
childhood.
I love Ant-Man, dude. I don't care what anybody says, dude. I love Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's fun. I wish the second one was more fun. I like Ghost as a villain, but I think they kind of threw her away, and now they're just not going to do anything with her. Probably.
I'm real. Movies and Trans, I got a question for you. Are you excited for Quantumania?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty excited for it because, I mean, I really enjoy the first 2 Ant-Man movies. I think the first one's a lot better than the second one, though.
No question.
Kang coming in as, like, a major part of the movie. I'm really excited to see.
That's going to be great. And it's going to be the one to kick off Phase 5, and I'm like, That should be the best one to kick off Phase 5.
Yeah.
I mean, bro. I mean, the way that they actually explored the quantum realm in um in the trailers, I thought they did a really good job. But I know they probably won't do this, but they should kind of do like that moment that I wish they could have done in Jurassic World Dominion. They kind of like Scott and what's her name, Hope.
Yeah.
Tell Cassie would be like, "Well, you're the one that got us into this mess." Like, I kind of wish they would. I kind of hope they do that though, because when you watch the trailer, Cassie does apparently get him into the quantum realm.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I like the trailer music. I think them editing Elton John into there was actually pretty dope. I didn't really like the trailer though, but I think it's because like when it dropped, I already saw it like 3 months before, and they're like, "Oh, a new trailer." I'm like, "I've already seen it." It's same with like when Indiana Jones trailer drops in like 2 weeks. I'm like, "I've seen it already. It's not
Did they
really
show
that
a trailer
exciting."
at SDCC? Or...
They did, and they showed it at D23, and it got leaked. It looks really good. That's what I'll say. It looks better than Kingdom.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna. I gotta. Let's see. Charles says Jonathan Majors is going to be awesome as Kang. Yes, he is, good sir.
I'm excited for Jonathan Majors in Creed 3 as well.
I still need to watch that trailer. Actually, I haven't yet.
That was an awesome trailer. I like just.
But
Jonathan
again,
Majors.
honestly, as of now, honestly, I mean, depending on what it is, I'm trying to stay away from trailers.
Oh, like
yeah,
just the vibe that Jonathan Majors gives in that trailer was just really outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. I saw the when the Knock at the Cabin trailer came out, which if anybody doesn't know, it's gonna be the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Knock at the Cabin. I watched the first half when it showed up as an ad. I was like, okay, but then halfway through the trailer, I clicked off because I knew they were going to give away the whole movie.
Yeah,
away from though with trailers.
It's true.
Like movies
and I was hoping that I would never see a trailer for that in theaters. Like I would just go into the film, just knowing that first half of the movie. And what do you know? When I go to see Halloween Ends, they show that trailer, and I'm like,
yeah,
this looks like Shyamalan's ripoff of Straw Dogs.
And like I think as I've been reading more scripts that have been coming out of Hollywood before the movies come out, I've started to notice that like a lot of trailers, even the most discreet trailers, show the whole movie, and it's like a little bit ridiculous. Like there's movies I've seen where I've read the script, I'm like, that shows like Bullet Train. I read the Bullet Train script like 2 months before the movie came out, and the first trailer itself showed the whole damn movie. I'm like, why'd they do that? Like you don't. It's a little weird. It's a little weird that they keep doing this. That they keep just spoiling the movie.
But I don't know. Universal likes to do that more than Sony does now. I can tell.
Blumhouse specifically. Their movies.
I don't know if Knock at the Cabin's Blumhouse. I don't think that is.
It's not Blumhouse, but a lot of the Blumhouse movies I've seen recently have shown the whole movie. You know, Halloween Ends. Yeah. You know, what was that one? Also, Firestarter, that came out this year. Firestarter showed the whole movie in the trailer. I'm pretty sure.
Halloween Ends didn't really give away that much, honestly.
It didn't give away the twist that like Michael Myers isn't the villain in the movie, but I think that it showed. It literally the first clip that they ever showed of the movie was the last fight scene, which I think is fascinating. That's how they got everyone in, was 30 seconds of them fighting, which is like the end of the movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't really speak on the rest of that, to be honest with you. But Knock at the Cabin, that trailer gave away way too much, and I'm telling you, like that movie legitimately looks like Shyamalan's inspiration / ripoff of Straw Dogs.
I feel like if I were to read the graphic novel that movie was based on, I would be like, oh, the trailer just showed everything. Because I don't know if you noticed that the last two Shyamalan films, or the next one probably is going to be the same situation. He's just adapting people's comic books now. Like he's not even writing his movies anymore. He's just adapting other stories. Like Knock at the Cabin's not his story. You know, Old was based on a comic book. Like, it's fascinating that he's not actually writing his Shyamalan movies anymore. He's just kind of like taking stories.
He's just basically kind of doing his his own twist on it.
Yeah.
So like his famous twists are just other people's twists.
No, like
now?
his last, I'm pretty sure his movies before, like Glass and before, were all written by him. But then
Right.
with the last three Universal, like the last two, these two, and then the next one that he's got like 2 years, it's been like kind of, obviously we've seen for the last two, and it's going to probably be the same for this one. He coming up like in 2024, he's essentially just taking graphic novels he likes and he's adapting them, and sometimes he's changing elements of it, but ultimately he's just taking someone else's graphic novel and adapting it, which I think is fascinating, because the best Shyamalan is when he says, fuck you, I got my own twist, and then it's nothing we expect, like Unbreakable, where they're like, oh, it's a superhero movie, and everyone's like, oh shit, that's crazy.
And dude, that movie is extremely ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was.
Like, you watch that film and you're so fascinated that film, like, you're so fascinated with it, but the biggest shocker is that film came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's the big shocker.
Kal-El makes a fascinating point, but I don't think it's the same thing, because he's like, Tarantino doesn't really do the same thing, because Tarantino takes like shots he likes from older movies, from like French movies and like gangster movies and stuff, but he doesn't adapt stories from other people. He still writes his movies, but a lot of the shots, like the shot of them dancing in Pulp Fiction is clearly lifted from 8.5, and everyone knows that now. But I don't think I wouldn't say he steals, like he adapts whole stories. He just takes like shots he really likes, and he's like, I'm going to do that too. But I would say it's similar, but it's not to the vein of Shyamalan, where he's literally just now taking other people's stories and is like, hey, I like this graphic novel. My kids showed me it. I'm now going to make it into a movie.
Yeah, but again, I feel like when I watched that, even like when it got to the last half of that trailer for Knock at the Cabin out, and even like the way that Batista looked, basically kind of wearing those glasses and everything, I was like I was just legit thinking to myself, straw dogs, straw dogs, straw dogs, straw dogs, straw dogs.
Like, also, can we talk about that fucking cast? You got Dave Bautista, you've got Rupert Grint for some fucking reason. Like, it's a weird cast.
Ron.
Like, why is this the cast that we're getting for this movie? How did he pull all these people together? That's my question. And then
I don't know.
But it's an end of the world type concept to an extent. Why? What is this movie? I don't know what it is. I'm fascinated, but I wasn't a fan of Old, so I'm not going into this one expecting like Split. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is a weird concept.
I feel like I'm one of the only people that actually enjoyed that movie.
It's just really weird to me. It was just weird.
And plus, when I saw, like,
weird.
I don't know, like, I don't know what it is about it that I like so much. It's just
the acting is
I
so funny in that movie.
I just feel like it was just something new and refreshing to me. It wasn't something that I've already seen before.
Yeah. Wait. Was that that wasn't Blumhouse. That was just Universal by itself, right?
Yeah, it was not Blumhouse.
Yeah. I feel like I'm fascinated because I'm fascinated with the trajectory of Blumhouse right now, because of the fact that like all of their good directors are gone and not doing Blumhouse movies anymore, because their best directors have been like Damien Chazelle and Jordan Peele and M. Night Shyamalan, and they're not doing anything with Blumhouse anymore. So it's fascinating to me that you can tell that the quality went down recently because the good directors are gone. Clearly because Blumhouse can't afford to make Nope or La La Land or Old. They can't afford that as a company.
Well, they probably couldn't afford to make Knock at the Cabin anyway, so.
They probably couldn't afford that either. So it's like this concept. I find it fascinating that, not to knock any of the directors who work at Blumhouse right now, but it's clear that like the quality is less than what it was 5 years ago when everyone was saying Blumhouse was the future of cinema. And now we see stuff that's coming out and we're like, oh, Firestarter. That's not a good sign.
Firestarter was terrible.
Firestarter. Megan's going to be this awesome fun film for the girls and the gays, but it's not going to be quality. in context of like actually a good movie. We can confirm that. Like that's not going to be a quality
It's
movie.
terrible. Oh
I
my
feel like it's
God.
going to
It's
be
gonna
like
be
the next
fun,
Wes
terrible.
Craven's Deadly Friend.
Yes. It's
Oh,
gonna be the next meme movie, and I already know it. But I'm gonna see it because it looks
I
like
feel
a
like
fun.
I feel like I'm just gonna see so many memes basically based around the cat scene in Firestarter.
I'm surprised no one's already done that. I've been debating whether or not that would make me lose followers if I talked about the damn CGI burnt cat asshole in that fucking movie. I probably
I don't
lose a
know,
bunch
but
of
I'm just gonna
followers
say,
for it.
but actually, here's a let me hit the chat here really quick actually before
That's a
we
good
go on because I
question.
guess actually got another question for you guys.
I
Thoughts on
liked
New
it.
Mutants? It's all
7 out
right.
of 10. I liked it. 7 out of 10. It's not perfect. I think a lot of
I'd say
people
it's a
hate
low
on it for
6.
weird reasons.
I didn't check out New Mutants. I think it's on HBO Max, and I'll check it out eventually just to be able to say that I've seen every X-Men movie, but I don't feel any motivation to watch it.
See,
Yeah.
Blumhouse movies are so hit or miss, more miss.
Yeah, which is wild.
I
'cause
can
I was
kind of agree, but
it was more hit
Blumhouse has had
years
some
ago.
bangers.
That's the question. But when was the last banger from Blumhouse? Like, I can't think of one. That was the last banger.
I think I know Movies and Trains knows one.
What?
What was the last Blumhouse banger?
Oh, Black Phone.
Let's go, dude.
Black Phone, like I don't
Black Phone was
associate
great.
because it feels like Black Phone is so much more expensive than a Blumhouse movie. I'm trying to think like the last one that I saw that I was like, yo, that is super impressive from Blumhouse. Freaky might be the last one that I genuinely was like, yo, this is very, very good. I don't know.
Yeah,
That one was
Freaky was good.
Vince Vaughn was awesome in that movie. That's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
saving grace
Oh.
with that movie.
Oh. Did you just pee yourself? Because again, he switched in a teenage girl's body. Like
it's a fascinating concept. It's also like I the movie's funny as hell. I love the script. It's a great script.
Let's see.
It's really I think it's got a lot of subtext that some people will understand where I'm like, that's kind of really funny.
Kal-El, I disagree. Dark Phoenix is horrible.
Dark Phoenix, is it the worst movie?
It's the
I don't know if
worst
that's the
X-Men
worst
movie. It's
X-Men
way
movie.
worse than Origins Wolverine. I'm sorry.
Is
That
it
film
worse
is
than
an
Last
abomination.
Stand? Is it worse than Last Stand?
Yeah, way worse, in my opinion. I actually really like The Last Stand. I don't care, man. I really like it.
I thought the Dark Phoenix was okay. I didn't hate it or like it.
I felt like they were just like I felt like they were just like, okay, we're gonna sell the Fox rights over, so let's just get this one done right away. We don't care.
Yeah,
so.
It's okay. Like obviously they were treading similar water, but I feel like the argument of what's the worst X-Men movie is varied. But I think we can all agree the best X-Men movie is fucking Logan. I think that's a pretty universal concept.
It's a toss-up for me. It's actually kind of a toss-up. Either X2, Logan, or Days of Future Past.
Ooh, you're right. Do we count the Deadpool movies? Because my top 3 would literally be Logan and then the Deadpool movies. I feel like that's probably if we
I don't know
count
they
them.
would really. I don't know if they'd really count. I feel like Deadpool's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
then it
yes, it has X-Men like elements to it, but I don't really feel like it's like a full-on X-Men movie.
It'd probably be it probably would be Logan.
So I would have that one stand on its own. So
and then X2 or New Mutants. One flipped. That could be 3 and 4.
Let's see. Hold on one sec.
I don't think Blumhouse did. Blumhouse didn't do Brightburn. I think Blumhouse.
No, they did not do Brightburn.
That was Sony, wasn't it?
Or Paramount? It was Sony. Honestly, it was, but I don't know, man. I think that
I just want them to make bold movies again that are not for teenagers. I want them to make bold horror movies that are like, yo, this is crazy, fun, scary. I want them to do that again, but they're just making all these horror movies for teenagers now, and it's just like they're not PG-13, not scary, not fun. I'm like,
I feel
'cause
like with
Megan got PG-13, which is kind of sad.
which one?
Megan just got a PG-13. They just rated it. It got PG-13.
That film looks horrendous. That movie looks
Which-
terrible.
For me, I'm like, I think the most fun it would be if it was R and it was excessively violent. But the fact that it's PG-13 now, I'm like, that's probably a bad sign. Because PG-13 horror movies don't work most of the time. They're just kind of
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
like
But-
which PG-13 horror movies have worked.
Insidious.
You're right. Insidious is PG-13, isn't it?
Yeah, and that actually did work for what it was
It's
going
hard
for.
to believe that movie's PG-13, to be honest.
It feels so rated R, but I don't know. I don't know, but like here, let me look here. Like when I look at the Black Phone, honestly, it does not feel like a PG-13 horror movie to me. It's very rated R.
Wait, is it PG-13?
No, it's rated R.
Okay, I was about to say, were you? I was about to be confused that I thought you were telling me it was PG-13. I was like,
No, it's not. It
that's
does not
wild.
feel like a PG-13 horror movie. Like
Yeah,
it is so rated R.
Sixth Sense PG. That's true. Sixth Sense was
Yeah, Sixth Sense
PG-13,
is
but I
PG-13.
don't
Signs
think
is
it's scary.
PG-13.
That's true. I don't think they're scary though. I just think that like they've got some cool scenes, but like to say that they're terrifying, I don't know if I'd say they're fucking terrifying. I just think that like,
Right, but I kind of want to see more unique time travel stories.
time travel is a fascinating concept, but I think that the problem is that it's hard to bend the rules of time travel, because like that's what
Like
people are
the
doing.
closest one, I'm not gonna lie. I think the closest one I could think of, it honestly has to go to Looper.
Looper's fascinating. I feel like I would love. I don't know if it's aged entirely well, and for at least in my context of like when I've seen it. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's like I feel like time travel's hard because if you get too complex with it, you lose people. I think that's the problem with really any sci-fi. If you make it too complex, you're gonna lose most of your audience. Like,
And I felt like what they did with Looper, they did not make it too complex. I mean, they made it complex enough. Like
that's true. I just think maybe for me, it's not so much the time travel concept. It's just the story in general doesn't really work for me entirely sometimes. I think that the perfect, at least recent use of sci-fi that makes sense for a general audience is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that, they tell you exactly what you need to know and it's not confusing in the slightest. And then you kind of just go for the ride. It's like, I think that's the best sci-fi we've had for a while. Because it's not confusing or alienating. It's just like a thing. It just happens, It's like, oh yeah, no, we have a multiverse.
Like I said with Looper, like it's because I'm sure it's for everybody else too, but it was the film that introduced me to Rian Johnson, actually how good of a director he is.
It is Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson's getting a new movie next week. If people aren't aware, a small little indie film from Netflix called Glass Onion. It's coming to theaters next week for anyone who's
going to Netflix on December 23rd.
Yeah,
which that's actually how I'm going to be watching it. But I can't lie.
Good.
The cast is such a dude. I almost want to say that the cast is even better than the first. Like,
man, what's his fucking face?
I know they got Daniel Craig, they got Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe.
I got a story about Leslie Odom Jr. because I physically ran into him during TIFF because the premiere was happening and everyone was signing autographs, and he literally ran to the side where I was at, and he almost literally ran into me to sign autographs.
Oh.
That was fun. So I could dodge Leslie Odom Jr. That was kind of fun. But no, I saw the movie. It's good. Like Glass Onion isn't as good as Knives Out, but it's still pretty solid. Like it's still fun. It's a very different movie though. It's not. It's very. There's a lot of differences than Knives Out.
That's what I felt like they were supposed to do. They didn't want to make it like a copy and paste of the first Knives Out.
It's true. I like that they did that. There's some. It feels a little long to me because I think it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. From when we left the theater, I think it was about 2:20, 2:15.
Let me see how long the first one was.
Screening. I think it was
the first one was actually about the same time.
Oh, really?
130 minutes.
Maybe it was just the pacing for me then. I feel like maybe the pacing.
Yeah, it's probably just the pacing of the first Knives Out that made it so good.
Because I remember leaving and being like, that was like maybe 10 minutes shorter would have been nicer, but like I don't think it's terrible. I really like.
I think Rian Johnson just kind of wanted to slow it down, since because Knives Out went by so fast.
Rian Johnson is such a nice fucking dude. I'll tell you that one right now. He's so fucking nice. But
I feel like people are. I don't care what anybody says. He's hated on. I'm sorry.
He's hated on a lot. And it's the fact that he went down for about 15 or 20 minutes and signed autographs and took pictures of people in the fan area at TIFF. And instead of going in and doing his interview and hanging out with, the people of the cast and the crew, he just spent that time and like hung out with the fans. And I think that
exactly
was eye-opening, because I'm like, I never hated Rian Johnson. It was a thing of like, I knew he was hated a lot, but seeing how much he cared about the fans, in like literally like 5 feet in front of me, just hanging out with the fans, taking pictures. How you doing? Like, he's such a nice fucking dude. Like, he's so respectful and he loves his fans. Like, it's very apparent.
Exactly. I mean, like, just stop looking at Last Jedi and say, "Oh, Rian Johnson sucks." Oh, because of Last Jedi. Oh yeah, he sucks.
It's funny because Last Jedi, I would say, is the best of the trilogy. It's probably controversial, but it's my favorite one.
I know, but like, because actually at one point that used to be my favorite Star Wars movie, believe it or not.
Which I feel like is a based opinion, because it's like it's such a different movie and it doesn't like follow the rules and it does whatever it wants to do. And I think that's I really like that.
It's not my favorite Star Wars movie anymore, though, because again, people are. I probably would cause a lot more controversy if I said that. Like now,
wait, are you back in the boat of Empire Strikes Back? Because that's the only answer.
Yeah, I'm actually back in the boat of Empire Strikes Back. Actually, it's either between Empire Strikes Back or Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people saying New Hope these days, and they're like, oh, someone said, I saw a post on Twitter about something like, your girlfriend or your boyfriend is perfect for you when they say A New Hope is the best Star Wars movie, and I think it's because some people are starting to like notice how quality that is, because I guess like a lot of people didn't like it for a while. People are like, it's fine, but like a lot of people like A New Hope is not one that people for some reason like love. I don't know why.
I always have, honestly. I always have. Like, even as a kid, I always have loved A New Hope.
Kal-El Daily is like, when am I getting my invite? The invite's at the top of the chat. It's the top of the
chat. It's in the chat right now, bro. Come on, man.
No, like I think that like I don't like, and especially after seeing him and having friends who went and partied with him the night after the premiere and like hung out with him for a bit, and they said like everyone I know who met him, and even me, like the few instances I had with him, he's such a nice fucking dude, and I feel like the hate towards him is very unwarranted, and everyone should just respect him more.
Right, and also I should say, not disrespect to anybody, of course. Like when I saw the comment of when am I gonna get my invite? Please, like, well, when I leave the link in the chat, that means I'm inviting people to come. But please just don't leave comments like, can you invite me to that? Because that means you're inviting yourself. So please don't do that.
I feel like it's always a risk to invite people on a stream, especially when you have a big following. Because I was on a friend stream the other night, and there was this random person that it was Instagram, I think too, was like, oh, let me in the chat, I have something important to say, and I think they flashed their dick and shit. So like it's always like a risk for people. I don't think Kal-El would do that, but like it's always a risk when you have a big following when it comes to people being like, "Oh, let me in the chat." It's like there's a lot of
Exactly.
people.
Or even plus, like, if I have a stream plan for something special, like, or even for something that I'm getting into, like Breaking Bad, for example, like, and if you see that I'm getting into Breaking Bad, like, oh, if we're gonna do a discussion, please invite me on there. You're basically inviting yourself, so don't do that, please. Here's the thing: if I get into something and I want to talk about it, I have to be the one that reaches out to you.
It's true.
Because that's what I did with one of my friends. Because, like, let's just get this out of the way right now before we keep going. Stay tuned for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be with a guest on this channel, of course, ranking our top 10 favorite Breaking Bad episodes.
Nice. I don't remember the show enough to even say 10 that I liked, other than the ending, other than the finale, which everyone loves.
I've already binged it twice, so
like it's a good show. It's pretty solid.
I think
your list, your 5 criterion list. I looked at it, YouTube. That's actually a base list. Comes to like 5 movies for 5 movies to get for the Criterion Collection. They're all like fucking solid movies. I was like, damn, like that's
like they're ones that I would recommend buying to start your collection if you ever want to start buying Criterions. They're ones I would recommend buying.
And they're good. I think they're all 5 different, like, and what's cool about them is they're unique. Like they're all different genres. Like it's not just one genre. They're all just different fucking movies. I saw that list. I'm like, it's dope list. Like I'm like, all 5 of those movies are great in that list.
Yeah, because let's see, I'm trying to remember. I got 12 Angry Men, Fail Safe, The Thin Red Line, Videodrome, and Bicycle Thieves.
Yeah, which all 5 of those I would say are either. I think I'd say all of them are like 4s, 4.5s, or 5s. I think that like genuinely. Like none of those are like terrible or even controversial movies. Like they're all like great fucking movies.
I mean, this is great right here.
Fail Safe is it's a good script. I think it's the script. The script and the execution of the script is fantastic.
Like one of my friends even told me, I think it was when we were doing our Sonic 2 watch along, said that this was honestly one of the scariest films he's ever seen.
Oh really? It's a very tense movie.
That's fair, actually, but I need to rewatch it.
Maybe I wouldn't say scary, but it's definitely one of those movies like Uncut Gems where you're just feeling anxious and tense like the whole time. You're like feeling all like stressed.
And yeah, this is the one that I would recommend for anybody that loves 12 Angry Men. This is from the same director as 12 Angry Men, so I recommend Fail Safe.
Sidney Lumet, like the fact that all the fucking movies that he made in his time, all of them are solid as shit. Like I just think that like he's one of those directors that you never hear people say, "Oh, they're my favorite directors," but I wish more people were like, "Yo, top 5 directors," and then Sidney Lumet was on that list. That would probably be like 12 Angry Men is one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the best.
I actually just rewatched this like about a week ago. It's my number 3 now of all time.
It's a movie that like executes the one location so perfectly, with the fact that it's just 12 guys being like, "Motherfucker, we got to figure out this person killed him," and then it's just a good script.
Yeah, obviously because of its time, it felt like a very unique type of claustrophobic thriller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard anyone say it's a thriller, but I would say it definitely fits the narrative. It's more. I feel like it's commonly put in the drama section, but like I would say there is some thriller elements to it because it is about these people fighting the whole time.
Exactly. That's why I feel like it is a thriller because, again, they're people fighting like on different sides of the spectrum, and basically you can be kind of terrified, like with what ways that you think it could possibly go. Yeah. Like sometimes you think it, like you're scared that it's actually going to go one way, but then sometimes it'll go to the other way. Either way, like
it's a great script, and I don't see a lot of people replicate that concept a lot. And I think that the only one recently that I saw that I feel like did it really well. I know my review is going to come out on the website in a couple weeks for it because it gets released limited. Is Women Talking. Women Talking is essentially 12 Angry Men and women talking to the same fucking movie. except the reason what they're talking about is different, but it's a movie where they're just sitting around discussing, and the script is fantastic. But of course, a movie like that, you need a strong script because you're just a bunch of characters sitting around. If your script is bad, no one's gonna sit there for 2 hours. But it's just like 12 Angry Men set a standard that only a few movies have been able to really capture.
Exactly. I mean, especially with people, especially with a movie like Clerks. It's just basically a bunch of guys chilling around at a convenience store. Like that's it. And it actually has a good script.
That movie wouldn't have. I don't think that movie would have kickstarted his career or that movement of new indie 90s cinema if that script wasn't good. I think that if the script was bad, that movie would have not. He wouldn't have a career if that script wasn't fantastic. I just kind of wish that like he still made scripts that were that strong, but it's a great script. It's a
exactly. I mean, because
it's good though.
But because honestly, like with Clerks, I mean, it's such a clever script. I mean, you don't even have to have like a concept for that movie. Like it's just super simple. Like it's just a movie about nothing.
I just like the genuine nature of the dialogue. I think that like that's probably the best part of the movie is the dialogue is definitely the dialogue is something that I've had with other people. The whole fucking fact that there's a scene where they're discussing Return of the Jedi and they have like this big talk. I'm like, this feels like it's got this genuine energy to it where the dialogue doesn't feel like it's forcing itself in any way to be funny. It just kind of is.
Even with Clerks too, especially like when Randall is making a summary about the Lord of the Rings movies, which I feel like he's super on point with those movies, if I'm being honest.
I think that's probably the best. I would say that's the best time when it comes to the writing of Kevin Smith's writing is the best when he's taking things that he, when he's taking shit that he feels deeply about and then he just writes about it. I think that's the best. Sometimes he doesn't do that, but that's whatever. Like, some movies he goes a little too basic about it, but when he's writing about shit he cares about, it fucking slaps.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, all right. Look, there's only one return, okay, and it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi. Star Wars geek.
I think
I'm the geek. We'll look at you two whipping out your preciouses.
I think that it's a genuine nature of clearly he was very much a part of that community at that time. I wouldn't be surprised if like a bunch of his like Clerk scripts he just took dialogue from the communities and just put that into the script, because it does feel like that's the argument people were having in the 2000s was, oh, Lord of the Rings is better. We got Oscar nominations. We won Best Picture, and then they're like, oh, but like Star Wars visual effect, like it feels like that was what it was. That's what the argument was.
I feel like if they actually, I'm not gonna lie, if they made a fourth Clerks movie, which I know they won't, but if they did, I felt like they would. No, I haven't. But
there's the ending makes it sure that there's no fourth movie.
I know, but I'm just saying only if they did. Like,
yeah,
I know it won't. I know it won't happen, but I'm just saying if they did. I would like. I want to see them do a debate between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Like, I want to see them do a debate like that.
I don't know if they would, because I don't know if there's enough discourse around it yet to like have a big scene about it, because like I think the genuine consensus is that Top Gun Maverick is really good, and if it gets nominated for Best Picture, maybe that's going to cause some ripples and shit. I don't know.
Top Gun got nominated for an Oscar.
Didn't it get like visual effects?
No, I think it got Best Soundtrack when that was still a thing.
Oh yeah. All I know is that like I don't know if there's enough of a discussion between them. Like it's not as strong. I would love to see him have a portion in a script where he's discussing the argument between Star Wars and Star Trek, and then for one character to discuss the fact that both of them are irrelevant and that people care about DC and Marvel now. No one cares about Star Wars and Star Trek anymore. I think that would be a fascinating argument because, like, did you watch Andor? I'll tell you, I watched one episode and I turned it off because it was kind of boring.
I did not watch it yet because I haven't caught up on the only Star Wars show like after I finished season 1 of Mandalorian that I only had interest in was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I feel like
Because I heard terrible things about the Book of Boba Fett, and probably as of now, I haven't heard anything good about Andor.
The problem is that no one's talking about Andor, and I feel like it's because it's characters that like no one's really cared about before, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna make a whole show about them. It's like, I don't know, whatever.
You know, a lot of people
Like,
cared about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like,
oh, of course, like that was the show everyone was excited for, and I'm gonna say this. This is, I don't know if this is controversial, but that show fucking flopped. Like that show, because by the end of that show, no one was talking about it, at least socially.
I loved Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I don't think I ended it either. I don't think I watched the end of it because just there was the love around it was gone. Like no one was sitting there, you know. There wasn't a lot of people like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited for the next episode. There was a few, obviously, not to take that away from people who were, but I definitely felt this sharp decline after the first 2 episodes where people were like, you know, they weren't really sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Like I watched the first season of The Mandalorian, which was fantastic. I can't deny that. It was fantastic. But I kind of fell off, and I never really went back to watch it to go to season 2.
I think that Star Wars is doing the best in TV shows right now, but I still think the TV shows are very based on the person. I think that Star Wars is in this issue of they're like, frankly, the issue that Star Wars is in right now is that it shouldn't still be going, but it still is. I think that's the big thing, is that they should have, Rise of Skywalker should have been the end of the Star Wars thing, but of course it was making money, so they weren't going to throw it away, but that should have been the end of Star Wars products. Other than maybe the animated shows. The animated shows are different because they're in such a different universe. Yeah, and the video games. They could have kept those. Right. But I think that then the movies and the show should have stopped. But, you know, knowing Disney, that shit ain't going to stop. You know, it's the same thing they're doing with Marvel. Like, it should have stopped after Endgame, but they're like, nah, we have more. Like, just because it makes money. It's like, I think that's the big argument. Like, there's some franchises that should keep going, like Star Trek. I'd like to see another Star Trek movie. I was when they said that Tarantino was supposed to start 4. I was like, bro, that should have happened. I would have been down. A gritty R-rated Star Trek movie with Quentin Tarantino,
right,
directing it. That would have been great. But they're like, no, I don't know. So it's like at this point, I'm like, some franchises. Yeah, it's the same thing with Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes. They want to make another movie. It's like, bro, we've had like 9, 10. We don't need another one of those movies.
Like, especially now with Fast and Furious, they're making a 10th movie, and I'm like, this franchise needs to die.
The problem is, for me, is the 10th movie is 2 movies. That's my problem, that they're splitting it into part 1, part 2, like it's this epic conclusion. I'm like, but like no one's really respected that franchise since 7. Like, seriously.
Like, no one's taken the franchise seriously after 7. Like, that's just been treated like a joke.
It's true. It's just, I think that, like, it's that argument for me.
I'll just say this. Like, I liked 7, and I liked Fate of the Furious. I did. I liked it. But Fast 9, that one just crossed the line. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, okay, this franchise seriously just needs to die.
I just feel like there's so many, it's weird how we're focusing on, for some reason we're focusing on the franchises that don't need to keep going. Like, there's some franchises I'd love to see have more movies or movies to become franchises, but they're not the ones that people are like heavily discussing. And I'm really fascinated about that. That like, why can't we get movies like franchises we actually like that haven't succeeded fully, but could be good franchises? Why have we not focused on those ones? And they're like, nah, we're gonna make another. Like, I saw a lot of people hate on this, but frankly, I was totally down for the female Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I really wanted that to happen. I thought that could have been very, very fun, but then it got canceled, and the way that Margot Robbie phrased it is it sounds like Disney was waiting for Johnny Depp to get through the court case so they can make another Johnny Depp Pirates movie. And frankly, if I'm going to be honest on the chat, I'd rather the female-led Margot Robbie Pirates of the Caribbean over another Johnny Depp one, because the last one wasn't very good. But for some reason, they're going to try to force another movie out of that one instead of the new idea, which would have been great. They're like, nah, we don't want that one. We're going to do the old stuff.
I did not think that Dead Men Tell No Tales was honestly as terrible as everybody else made it out to be. I thought it was better than.
I didn't think it was terrible, but it definitely was not. I think that the peak of the franchise was clearly Dead Man's Chest. Like, that was the best one. Or the first two were fantastic. And then
like, I like all of them except for On Stranger Tides. It's the only one I don't like.
Oh, really? Oh, so you like On Stranger Tides more than or you like Dead Men Tell No Tales more than On Stranger Tides? That's fascinating.
Yes, and obviously I like At World's End a lot more.
Yeah, I just think it's a franchise, like, frankly, doesn't, I would have loved to see, I would love to see the female-led one. That would have been so much fun, that they're like, but it's like, we don't want that because we want the Johnny Depp one. It's like, okay, like, do what you do, but I'm not going to watch the new one. If we get another Johnny Depp Pirates movie, I'm sure as hell not fucking watching that movie. I'd rather... because I'm not a fan of them anymore. Like, they're doing their thing. And then now, like, they have this obsession Disney has where they're like, oh, we're going to just make the rides into movies again. And, like, Jungle Cruise was like, whatever. Hopefully Haunted Mansion is good, but...
I don't know. Because, I mean, after we got that one in 2003, I was like, yeah, they better not make another one of these.
It's got a good director and a good cast, but, like Danny DeVito, like, that was insane.
I mean, I had too much of a high nostalgia factor with that Haunted Mansion movie from 2003.
I just rewatched it during Halloween season this year. It's not good.
Like, I can't deny that it's bad, but I mean, I still have fun with it, even as an adult, because I have a high nostalgia factor with it.
It's true. I think that's a really good point that plays into this whole idea of fandoms too, with like Marvel and DC. The idea of like having too much nostalgia for something, I think, is fascinating, because like some people don't acknowledge their nostalgia and they're like, oh, these movies I grew up with are really good, when they're not. I just find it fascinating how because even I have movies where I grew up with them and they might not be good quality, but I have nostalgia for them. I just find it fascinating.
Exactly. Plus, there's movies that I've watched as a kid that I know are not good, but I liked them as a kid. But even growing up, I was like, they suck. Like,
I find it fascinating that yearning for the past leads us to have to misunderstand some films and television that are yearning to be what we were as children, leads us to create false realities where some of these things were actually good. It's fascinating.
I don't know. I was more of a movie fanatic than a TV fanatic before, because I felt like watching a lot more TV shows was a lot tougher. I mean, it still is a lot tougher growing up.
Like, it's true, because it's like you can devote 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to a movie, or you can devote like multiple season show. You have to devote like 50 hours to it. So
even even a couple of months, like just binging a whole show, like, because
it's true.
Like, because even a show like Supernatural, that show is 15 seasons long and 24 episodes a season.
15, and they're all hour-long episodes, which is a problem. Like, that's my problem with like these fucking CW shows. They're way too long. Like, they're 24 episode seasons is way too long. Like, no one does that anymore. Like, even
exactly, that's the reason.
Season. And The Last of Us has 9 episodes in its season. That's perfect. 24 episodes for Batwoman, even though it wasn't too bad of a show, that's way too many for a season. Way too many. Riverdale has 30 episodes. Nah.
mean, I know it's not a CW show, but that's the reason why I love Breaking Bad because they actually used those episodes and actually
Yeah, and
worked with the storyline.
they only had like 10 episodes a season, right? I'm pretty sure Breaking Bad only had 10 or 12
Seven
episodes.
episodes of season one because it was during the writer's strike,
Oh, you're
and
right. Yeah.
13 episodes for season 2 through 4, and
Mhm.
season 5 at 16 because that was the finale.
That's not even like, because having a finale for 16 isn't even that bad, but it's a finale show, and that's a show that like knew what it was doing. My problem is all these like they were gonna do the same thing with. I read the script a while ago, but like the Powerpuff Girls show, I'm just like they were gonna have like 20 episodes of that. I'm like, you don't need 20 episodes of a show, like especially when the quality is not HBO Netflix quality, like top tier Netflix, HBO quality. Why is a show 25 episodes with hour-long episodes? Like that makes
Because
no sense.
I mean, because again, because like I said with Breaking Bad, like none of the episodes are filler. Like they actually
Yeah.
feel like they actually have a story that they want to tell. Like it's just not like, because even though I haven't seen it, but because I keep hearing that The Walking Dead has like too many episodes like per season because they just draw out like so many storylines and you get like 6 to 7 episodes of filler.
It's too like every season has that though. The Walking Dead is a show that's it's ending this week. Thank God, because that show is way too fucking long. Like that show, I thought the show ended like 4 years ago, and it's still going.
That's
I'm like,
why I haven't. That's why I haven't gotten onto it yet because
you're gonna wait till it's
I
done.
mean, I don't know, man. Because especially after I heard what like with some people reacting to like season 6 or whatnot, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to watch The Walking Dead.
Season 6 is kind of season. Here's the thing about season 6. Season 6 is pretty lackluster, except for the last episode when they leave you with the cliffhanger of who died, and then of course it's funny because like I stopped watching the show and they did that. So then of course I tuned into the first episode of season 7 to see who died, and then I just stopped watching again just because of the fact of like the show is so boring that they have to pull these like marketing stunts with it just to get people to watch it. And it's like it's fascinating that it's still going. It's fascinating that they were able to. It's fascinating that for the run of Walking Dead, we got 2 Breaking Bad shows with about 6 or 7 seasons each. In the span that we got one Walking Dead show, I think it's and then of course the failed spinoff. I just think it's fascinating that
we had like Breaking Bad like stayed consistent the whole way through. Like
yeah, even Better Call Saul did to an extent.
Even with a character like Saul Goodman, like was such a good character, he actually got his own spinoff show.
And that's the thing. Seeing that that's a good show too, I'm just like, bro, like I think it's partially the fact that like Walking Dead is like it's so the problem is it's a zombie show and you get tired of watching them run away from zombies. And then when your drama with the characters isn't good, it just doesn't work.
I mean, Breaking Bad does like perfect drama with characters, especially with the third to last episode of the show. Like, because especially with that like that actual fight sequence between Skyler and Walt, I was just like, I did not see that coming, dude. That literally caught me off guard.
I am the danger.
I was like,
I am the danger.
Because honestly, I mean, I'm glad they actually took it in a more different like in a more realistic direction, because I'm sure that's actually how they would have reacted to it. But I would have been the one to literally listen to Walt. Like I would actually listen to him and actually understand what happened. Because I know he didn't. Because everybody, please cover your ears if you've not seen Breaking Bad. Because Walt was not the one that killed Hank, like Skyler and Walt Jr. suspected. He didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Like, and you know it because one of the new guys for the meth lab shot Hank right in front of Walt.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they ended it.
But and I was kind of sad, like even like when Walt was kind of the meth sucker, I was like, I was like, and the way they decided to kill him off, I was like, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like some shows don't get, and I think that there are some shows that are able to run for so long and they know how to keep it consistent. But shows like there's so many shows that I'm like, you need to fucking stop. Like Simpsons is the biggest example or proponent of that concept. Like that show should have stopped like 20 years ago, but it's still fucking going.
I'm serious. Like, yeah, I mean, after the Simpsons movie, I fell off the Simpsons completely. Even though I love the movie, I just forgot. I kind of forgot about it, and just I completely fell off the Simpsons. Like, I lost interest.
Should have been. That's what.
It should have just been a show that was in the '90s and just pulled up 10 years later and made a movie.
90s, early 2000s. They could have canceled. They could have like over 30.
Either just end it or just cancel the show.
It's like it's a show where it's like it's still going and it's like now they're making more sense. And who the fuck because no one I know is current Simpsons. No one I know is watch next week. Who the fuck watches the show? Don't. Disney is so. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have more. No one. It's like Yellowstone. No one I know watches it. To the show on streaming. I know no one.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to end it here for tonight because it's getting pretty late. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Who stopped by in the chat tonight. Again, stay tuned for tomorrow where I have a guest coming on to rank our top 10 Breaking Bad episodes. Stay tuned. Have a good night, everybody.